Welcome to OA Growth. This is part of our one take series where we're going to run this from beginning to end in a single shot, or at least that's the goal. We'll see if it happens. Today we're talking about creating across multiple platforms. And when I say platforms, what am I talking about? We're talking about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you're right here right now, and Amazon. Many creators, while they're focused on those major four, always forget about the fifth, and we'll talk about why each one in itself is important and how each one is different and how they work and what it takes to potentially be successful or monetize or whatever it is that your plan is and how you ended up here in the first place. So when we talk about platforms that we create on, you got to ask yourself, why are you on the platform that you're on? This is a serious question. What made you choose to be on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whichever one we're going to talk about today? Seriously, most of the time it's because we're either a user, or we're comfortable with the platform, or B, maybe we know somebody who's currently creating on it, or most likely you probably looked up what their monetization requirements are and you went off of that. Because why do most creators create accounts? It's either one, to gain notoriety, two, you're really passionate about what, say, your niche is or what you're talking about or what you're going to creating about, or three, it's being able to monetize. Social media and these platforms in general that we're going to talk about today have given us the ability as creators to be able to, from either our home or studio or wherever you're filming from location, to reach a worldwide audience. And that, up to this point, has not been done for the regular person such as yourself or myself doing this today. So we got to ask ourselves, why do we get on the platform that we're on? Why are we not on these other platforms? And how can we bridge that gap in between? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's think about this. You're creating content, say, for TikTok. It's pretty popular right now. It's going to be, I think it's in second place right now, and you can check that and maybe leave a comment or whatever you want in the comment section and let me know if it's still accurate at this point. And it should be. The TikTok, I believe, is in number 2. Facebook, believe it or not, is still number 1. It's the king. MySpace is probably somewhere there, but probably dating myself by doing that. But you don't have to worry about creating on that because we're not talking about that today. But let's get on to the main ones that we're talking about. So TikTok is huge, but Facebook is still king right now. And Facebook is one of those that if you're sleeping on Facebook, let's get real, you are missing out. You are missing out not only because Facebook is itself, but Facebook is Meta. And what else falls under the Meta umbrella? And that's Instagram. So we're going to break this down today, and we're going to talk about our 5 major groups again: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you're here today, and Amazon. And if you're not creating on at least several of those, the easy ones, the ones where I can take a piece of content, I can then remodel it for each particular platform, and I can distribute that, why wouldn't I, as a creator, take those steps to expand the reach, to grow my brand, to do these things that help me be successful, to help you be successful, and to get all of the creators that are out there, to get them going? Because believe it or not, it's not a zero-sum game, right? You being a successful creator doesn't necessarily take away from another creator. What it does is potentially maybe you add another creator in that niche. But trust me when I say there's always creators leaving the space, and there's always creators joining. There's hundreds of thousands, if not more, accounts created every day. And of those is people just like you watching this and myself that want to be creators, that want to share our passion, that want to get on here, and that want to create content, either gain notoriety or monetize it in some way. And those accounts are opened every single day by the hundreds of thousands, but they also die off every single day. Because doing this is not easy. Doing this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So I hope you're prepared. I hope you're listening, and I hope you stay tuned because we're going to talk about all those and how you can maximize your exposure with a quick, hey, here's how all the platforms kind of, they cross paths in one way or another. So we'll kick it off with the two that are married up, and that is Instagram and Facebook. Here's the beauty about Instagram and Facebook. They are together, they are under Meta, right? Under that Meta umbrella that I talked about before. Does that mean that automatically your Facebook content is going to be successful on Instagram or vice versa, right? If you make a post on Instagram, does that mean that Meta says, hey, Instagram followers like this content, I'm going to push it on Facebook? Not necessarily, because each platform has a different user base, has a different goal that it's trying to accomplish. And that's something that you as a creator kind of have to figure out and tailor per platform that you're on. But here's the best part about Instagram and Facebook being under that Meta umbrella is that right now, Instagram is not heavy on monetization. And if you're on IG right now or you're an IG creator, you probably know that in order to make, I would say, money or to monetize your Instagram account, you are going to have to sell a product. You are going to have to get into affiliate marketing. You are going to have to either get an IG shop, or we'll tie this all together later, tie it in with Amazon and create affiliate links and get through somehow. Instagram's creator reward or their bonuses program has died off for the most part. There are some creators that still get it, but the majority of creators are not. You are not going to get a bonus. And if you do, fantastic, congratulations. Drop a comment in the comment section and tell us how successful it's been, because Instagram, and it's been criticized heavily for this everywhere you look, is probably, I would say, out of the platforms we're going to look at today, it has the least monetization availability. And here's why. If you're a creator on Instagram right now, you can monetize a couple different ways. One is badges, right? So basically, users that interact with you can pay for these badges that when they leave comments or they engage, they'll go to the top, they'll get a special icon. It's a way for you to recognize individuals that are viewing your content, people that really like what you do. And I think it's a fantastic way, but it's not something that many other platforms, even though they have it, it's an aside. It's not the main attraction. It's not what brings creators there. And Instagram came out, there's some information, I believe, back in even 22 or 23 that talked about their creator reward or their bonuses programs going away. There is some talk about them reinvesting in it. If you know anything about that, drop that in the bottom again. But again, as of right now, the bulk of creators are not receiving any kind of bonuses or creator bonuses program benefits, which I think for Instagram is a huge miss. If you think about that, with the expansion of TikTok and the amount of traffic they're getting, Instagram not giving creators, not paying creators for that authentic, that raw content that gets people like you and people like me and the audience to watch the content and stay on that platform, they are missing out. So what do? If you go on Instagram's monetization, you have badges, you have gifts, you could do stars, right? If somebody really likes your content, they can do that. A star's worth a penny, so on and so forth. You can accumulate some monetization that way. And then you have subscriptions. Those are your three major ones that's from the platform. A subscription, of course, depending on the type of content you create. Maybe somebody wants to subscribe if you're doing something technical, or you're teaching somebody something, or maybe it's very informative, or you're creating content that you can separate your main feed from a subscriber feed, then yes, you could potentially want to do that. But here's my question. As a user, because with all these platforms I use them as well, do I want to subscribe and pay money to get something from you as a creator that I can go on another platform and get just as a user without having to pay, right? Because if a platform is rewarding their creators with some kind of monetization or some kind of distribution of their brand or growing it or whatever it is that may be, that person's probably going to put out good quality content on that platform without having to charge for a subscription-based service or a subscription-based fee. So think about that when we're doing this. For Instagram, in order to qualify for monetization, you have to have 10,000 followers. A couple years back, 10,000 followers was kind of a big thing, and by a couple of years, I probably mean closer to like 5 or 10 years ago. If an account had 10,000, you're thinking, wow, okay, that's legit. It's a solid account. This day and age, 10,000 honestly doesn't mean much. But here's the thing: if you are creative, if you can do CTAs, right, calls to action, or a call to action, and you have a good, strong following, you can monetize well before that. For Instagram, all it's saying is that you have to have those 10,000 followers, and they got to be real. Each platform vets them differently. I don't know what the extent of Instagram's vetting process is, but I know they look out for spam accounts, they look out for deactivated accounts, they look out for certain things when they're calculating their metrics. But hitting 10,000 followers, while it is a big deal for you as a creator, for myself when you're just starting up and going, hitting that is not the milestone that it used to be. So as of right now, for Instagram, it's 10,000 followers. You can do badges, gifts, subscriptions, bonuses. If you're receiving a bonus, like I said, it's few and far between. Drop that in the comments. Spread the news, share the wealth, that type of thing. But creator bonuses are minimal on Instagram. And again, I think that's something that they're working on. But we have Instagram, and Instagram has a brother or sister or whatever you want to call it under that Meta umbrella, and that is Facebook. And you know what Facebook does do that Instagram doesn't? Is it monetizes you as the creator for your content. Facebook just recently, I believe as of this year, they're still in the process of doing it, pushed out monetization beta, or it's now Facebook monetization. And from the last information I got, by the end of the year, they're supposed to completely switch over to that. Where before you had a series of different ways to monetize your content, now it's all in one place, and it should be known as Facebook monetization moving forward. Certain creators have had invitations even last year and potentially earlier, but as of this year, that transition is supposed to happen. If you're creating on Facebook and you got the invite to Facebook monetization, I hope you're having a good experience with it. I know the experiences vary as far as that monetization program or platform goes, but it takes into effect everything from your posts to your stories, to your reels, to your videos, to your live. Everything falls under one single platform, and you're not dealing with everything on its own. You're not worried about bonuses. You're not worried about any of that, because that used to be all independent things that you had to consider, that you had to work with as a creator. And Facebook said, you know what? We don't want our creators dealing with that. We want to give them a one-stop shop where all of their content is monetized. Yes, I have heard and I have read that certain creators are not happy with the payout system or the reward system or the way it's calculated. But for the most part, I think this is a great idea and a good way moving forward. And if you've had experience with it, drop that in the comments as well, because I think that's something people forget. Facebook is huge, over 3 billion users. That is extraordinary. That is an untapped market if you haven't done it yet. And the best part is Instagram, Facebook, same umbrella, under that Meta umbrella. So keep that. I would consider that. I haven't been a creator on all the platforms we're going to talk about today. I love the idea, even though Instagram does not pay you out in the same way that Facebook or TikTok or YouTube do, it is connected through this hierarchy of the Meta platform, or Meta. So you have Instagram, you have Facebook, and again, before, or you may be currently having it right now, Facebook monetized for stars, for ads on reels, for bonuses such as, create still image posts, or create posts and share them to groups, or whatever that may have been. They're giving you this creator bonus. That's gone. If you're still getting it, hopefully you get an invite soon to come over to monetization, or monetization beta, which it was called before. But by the end of the year, it's going to be solid, and that's what everybody's going to have. Again, stars, ads on reels, bonuses, in-stream ads, and subscriptions. All of that is going away, and we're switching over. Now, it is interesting with subscriptions. That may hang around. I don't do subscriptions because I think there's plenty of good quality content that creators will put out that does not require a subscription. And I think it's an extra gateway. If you feel differently, please drop that in the comments and show how successful you've been. My experience is free content is good content because it allows the creator, you and I, to make content that's beneficial for our audience, to keep them on the platform. That's let's call it a triangle, a relationship triangle between you as the creator, the audience, and the platform. In the end, all the platform wants is to keep people there. Facebook and Instagram want to keep people in Meta under that umbrella. TikTok wants to keep people there. YouTube wants to keep people there. And then Amazon, of course, is this wild animal all on its own. But it's something that many creators forget about. And it's not an untapped market, but a market that could be utilized to help you achieve whatever goals that you have. So don't count that out. So again, it's this triangle relationship that we have as creators, the audience, and of course the platform. They want to keep people on there. We facilitate that between the audience as creators. So when people get upset with the algorithm, you don't need to, because understand that that's the goal. Keep people on there, and you have to find a way to do that. So Instagram and Facebook, under the Meta umbrella, each one requires 10,000 followers to monetize. Instagram is light as of now. I really hope Instagram brings back content bonuses, or brings them back for the majority of creators that are out there. And I think that's something that they have to be aware of. But Facebook has that right now through content monetization, and it's huge. It's a good program and something that you as a creator should not miss out on. Facebook does have something else going. I haven't tested it myself, and that's Facebook storefront. You can always add links. Facebook has that in there, but there's another series I'm going to do later on about how to monetize specifically and utilize insights through each of these platforms. And Facebook actually does not like when you drop links into your description for your posts. So if you're doing that now, you're probably seeing a reduced amount of distribution. It does not like that, and it could be because they're trying to push the Facebook storefront. So, quick recap, IG and Facebook under the same umbrella. They work together, and here's the best part. Facebook and Instagram allow you to cross-post automatically. Yes, you can do it one way, you can do it the other way. They're making it too easy for you not to use both of those platforms. You open accounts in both, you sync them up, you make an Instagram post that automatically gets put to Facebook, you're done. Once you set that up, you don't even have to take any extra steps, and vice versa. If you have a Facebook account, your creator there, set up an Instagram account, and it'll post to it through cross-posting feature, and we could get to that in a different series as well. But that is one, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, and I am certain that if you do both, you're not going to regret it, and it's going to get you going. So we covered the Meta umbrella with IG and FB. Now let's move on to TikTok. TikTok is huge. TikTok is everywhere. TikTok is everywhere that it's even in the news and everything else. But TikTok for creators is huge. They have some of the, not the easiest ways to monetize, but they have many different options for you to monetize, which is great. Their requirements, TikTok is very particular on copyright issues, authenticity, whatever it is that they're working on the background with that to keep the platform on the up and up. They are serious about it. If you commit community violations, they will flag you, they will strike you, and they will shut your accounts down. So I would keep that in mind when you're creating on TikTok. But TikTok Creator Rewards Program is pretty solid, right? So they're going to pay you similar to the way Facebook does with their monetization, is that once you break that 10,000 follower threshold, which is the same for so far Instagram and Facebook that we've done, they are going to begin to pay out. But TikTok recently has pushed out some new requirements. So right now on TikTok, yes, you need to have 10,000 followers. Yes, you need to have a certain amount of views. It's usually about 100,000 views within the last 30 days. And your videos, in order to monetize, to be part of the creator rewards program, need to be over 1 minute long. Yes, I know these are, if we call them short attention span, if you want to call it that, platforms. We know that YouTube is long form content. Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok in particular is more short form content, but I think they're trying to fill these voids. And that's something as a creator you have to keep an eye on. If a platform is telling you, hey, we want you to, like for TikTok, for example, has been pushing going live. If the platform is telling you to go live, or the platform is telling you to create videos of a certain length, or the platform is saying create videos in a vertical, or say a 9/16 aspect ratio versus a 16:9. I said 9/16, but you know what I meant. If they're asking you to do vertical instead of horizontal, they're trying something. They want to do something else. If they're asking you to go live, they're trying to fill a gap, to fill a void that that platform does not have, because each of them that we're talking about, the 5 different ones, has a different mission, has a different purpose, and has a slightly different demographic of users that are using that platform. TikTok is the new kid on the block for the most part, so you're going to have a newer user base versus Facebook, which has been around for a while, is probably going to have an older demographic. Does that mean that your content should only be on one platform and not the other? Absolutely not, because if you're like me and you've been creating and you're watching your insights, your demographic may not be what you intentionally or initially, thought that it was going to be. And you may learn that, hey, your demographic is different. Your demographic doesn't watch your videos for the length of time that you thought they were, or doesn't respond well to certain things. Well, that could be more suitable on different platforms. So why would you limit yourself from doing that? So as far as TikTok goes, 10,000 followers, 100,000 views in the last 30 days, and minute-long videos. That is a long time to keep somebody's attention on TikTok. If you're creating on TikTok now, you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy to do that, but that's what TikTok is paying for. That's what TikTok wants. And if you as a creator do not listen to what the platform that you're operating on wants, you're missing out. That's going to limit your exposure. That's going to limit the reach of your content, the building of your brand, the pushing out of whatever you're trying to do. And that's going to limit you. And that's something that you need to be aware of as a creator, regardless of the platform that you're on. Of course, TikTok has others, such as gifts during videos, or going live, subscriptions, and things of that nature. But most of the time, creators are looking for that creator rewards, the creators bonuses. It used to be called real bonuses on IG and whatever else. They're looking for that. Hey, I get on. I make good quality content for your platform, and then that platform monetizes you in return because you keep people on there. That's something that you need to consider as a creator, and that's something that we got to watch out for. And TikTok right now is telling you 2 big things. I want you to go live, and I want you to make videos over a minute long. And as a creator, you should be trying to do that. The more you do, the better it is. The more notifications you get from that platform that are offering you things to do, you should take advantage of it and just try it. Maybe you do it, maybe you like it, maybe it's successful, maybe it's not, and you go back to the old way. I do promise you one thing. As a creator, you have to over time change and adapt to whatever the platform that you're working on is trying to achieve. If you don't, you will notice a dip in your reach, you'll notice a dip in your engagement, and you're going to ask yourself, what did I do to make the algorithm upset? You did nothing, and that's the problem. You didn't change anything. You stayed and did the same thing you have been doing, and it could have been successful for a month. It could have been successful for a couple of years, but things change. You have to adapt because the platform needs to adapt. Here's the best part about TikTok is the way that you post content on TikTok, even though it's not part of Meta as far as IG and Facebook goes, it is the same style. You post a reel, you drop a description, you can drop hashtags in there. In essence, you can take that content because it is yours. If you want to tailor it a little different, if you want to change the thumbnail or the cover, do that. But you can essentially make a single post on TikTok, post it, take that information, drop it into Instagram or Facebook, and have a cross post for you. And within a few minutes of actually posting, right? It takes time to create content. We get that. It's not an easy thing to do. and it takes effort. While it may seem that somebody, oh, it's easy for them to do that, it's not. They're working on it. Everybody puts in work, and you should be putting in work as well. But once you're done with that and you have this great product and you want to put it on TikTok, take that and put it on Instagram and cross post, or put it on Facebook and cross post to Instagram. Either one of those, and now your content, instead of having a chance to be successful on one platform, is now rolling on 3 different platforms. Why would you as a creator not want to do that? It doesn't make sense. It's a little bit of work. It's probably 2 or 3% of the amount of work that you put into making this content for you to potentially triple your exposure. And you may learn that while your content doesn't do good on TikTok, it may do great on Instagram and do okay on Facebook, or vice versa. It may be great on Facebook, but it's not good on IG, and then it may be fantastic on TikTok. You don't know, unless you've already tried, where you're going to be successful. And if you tried in the past and it hasn't been great, who cares? Scrap it. Go back and do it again. You're already making the content. The hard work is done. All you have to do now is create the post. We're going to post. We're going to get ourselves out there. So those are your 3 that are easy. They're the same in essence. Content, description. You can take that same information. You can call it a caption. Each of the platforms calls their little pieces of the puzzle different things. But you have your content, you have your description. The description usually includes the hashtags, and you're set. Yes, drop a location, add music, do whatever you want to do as a creator that makes you who you are. But you put it on those 3, and you're setting yourself up for success even at the beginning, which is fantastic. And that's something you should do. Don't limit yourself, because there's plenty of people out there, different users, they use the platforms at different times. So we have those 3. That's good to go. Now let's talk about the last 2. You're here on YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is YouTube. YouTube is actually quite interesting, because it's probably been around, I don't know if the longest, I got to pull the numbers. If you know when these apps were created, you can go ahead and drop that in there. But YouTube has been around a while. But YouTube is interesting because you have short form, you have long form, you have users of all ages and demographics. It's actually an interesting place. So if you're making content that's suitable for YouTube, be it long form or short form, right? YouTube has YouTube Shorts now. It has YouTube long form content. If you are making content for that, you can break that down and push it out to the other platforms. If you're making it on the other platforms, you can either build that up or use it as shorts. Right now for YouTube, in order to monetize on YouTube, there are 2 steps. They have what's called a start and then a continue. For the starting step, it's 500 subscribers. So YouTube changes the name from followers to subscribers. It's 500 subscribers. You had to have posted 3 videos and achieved 3,000 hours of watch time on those videos in the last year. Or if you're posting shorts, it's 3 million views within 90 days, right? So that's a little different, because it wants a significant amount of views for those shorts. But if you're able to achieve that, again, the baseline is 500 subscribers and then 3 videos with 3,000 hours, or 3 million views for shorts. You can do a couple things. You can do memberships, which is similar to subscriptions on other platforms. You can do supers, which is like stickers and badges that we talked about on other platforms as well. But the biggest thing I think here is adding links. So now you can add links to help with shopping. If you're doing product reviews, or you're pushing products, or you're doing affiliate marketing, you can now do that on YouTube. And 500 subscribers is the baseline. YouTube is different. YouTube, when you're creating content, again, it's long form, traditionally 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes. And then we have shorts that can be, I believe, up to 3 minutes now. They recently changed that, I believe, earlier this year as far as shorts requirements. But you can create specifically for YouTube, or you can make content that you can share across platforms. So the first is the starter, I guess we'll call it, package. And then you have the continue package on that. And that is 1,000 subscribers. You get 1,000 subscribers. It's 4,000 watch hours. If you're able to hit that with 500, you're going to have no problem with 1,000 subscribers, 400 watch hours in the last 365 days, or 10 million shorts views in 90 days. YouTube has been pushing shorts lately. They're trying to compete. They're trying to get into the sphere with other platforms, and that's something you as a creator should keep an eye on. If you've been creating on YouTube and you want to get a little extra exposure, take your long form content, break it down, and make these shorts, or just straight up film shorts. Make shorter, more consumable content, because that's what YouTube wants. If you're getting notifications on that, or you're getting any information, especially from the platform, and you're not taking advantage of that, you're missing out, and you are going to not decrease potentially your distribution, but you're going to limit that distribution when you could have just tried out this new thing and see if it works for you, and if it does, great. So for the starter, monetization on YouTube is 500 subscribers. That gets your basic entry level links, super, or like stickers for people that interact with your content. And then, of course, memberships or subscriptions, which is the ubiquitous term for other platforms. That comes at 500, but really where most people try to get to is that 1,000. And for the 1,000, that gets you your ads on your shorts and ads on your page. We talked about this before, just like with the other platforms. The 1,000 is just the beginning. If you think that you're going to hit that 1,000 mark and all of a sudden your life is going to change, it is not. Don't set yourself up that way. Just like with the 10,000 on the other platforms, it is the gateway. It is the beginning. These platforms want to know that you are real, your content is real. You can continuously make content. Being a creator is not a sprint, it's a marathon, just like this video right now. We've been going for a while, but that's okay, because we're trying to make something that's beneficial for you as the viewer, myself as a creator, and us as a whole. The platforms are benefiting from it, and that's the idea behind all of this. It is that triangle, and you are one of the three parts that make it successful. So you get past that 1,000 on YouTube, now you get ads on your page, you get ads on your videos, you get ads on your shorts, and that's where you want to be. And YouTube has a great payout system, monetization system. It's on par, if not better than a lot of ones you're dealing with. But here's the point behind this entire video. Why limit yourself to that? You create a YouTube video, just like I do this one here. Guess what I'm going to do? I will then curate it and tailor it for all the other platforms, and I'll put it out, and I'll make sure that not only do I use it here, but I use it for something else, and I use it for Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and everywhere else, to make it beneficial, because the hard part is creating and editing and publishing. The easy part is pushing it out to the platforms. Don't limit yourself, keep on pushing through. So, talked about Instagram and Facebook, that's the meta umbrella. We talked about TikTok, how it's just as easy to grab that content from TikTok and your description and push it onto IG or FB. And we talked about YouTube right now. It's slightly different, because even though you have some hashtags, you have video descriptions, you have tags. It's a little bit more involved in that respect, but something that you can translate to the other ones without too much effort. So finally, we have Amazon. I know. We're talking about social media platforms. We're talking about being a creator, but like I said at the beginning, you became a creator for a couple things. One, you're probably passionate about a topic, or you feel knowledgeable about it. You want to spread your expertise or your skills or whatever it is. You want to gain some kind of notoriety, or you want to monetize. In the end, they're all somewhat involved with each other. If you do it right, you should be able to accomplish all those. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong, and it's why most people get into it, and that is okay. So where does Amazon come in? Most creators will do some sort of shop, or do an affiliate marketing, or they're going to sell a product or whatever it is. Amazon has two parts to being a creator with Amazon. You can be an influencer, and you can be an associate or an affiliate. Here's the best part. Instead of creating a shop that somebody has to go to, and they got to purchase from you, and you got to deal with selling some kind of merchandise or a good, or you got to deal through TikTok or IG or whatever, that user gets to go to Amazon, probably a place where they're purchasing items already. They either have a Prime account, or they're used to make a purchase from there. They're comfortable with the return policy and the products they're getting, and now you can facilitate that. The only downside is you're not selling your own product. And if you want to do that, by all means, go ahead. But you have the chance to represent these other products that you're probably using that you can then push out either as an associate or an affiliate, where you can provide a link and somebody can follow it and you get what's called a bounty or compensation for it. Or you can actually become an influencer for Amazon. Yes, you can create content that you put on Amazon, and Amazon will distribute your content either on the product page, on their main feeds, whatever it is that they decide to do with that. They're going to push that out. And now you are a representative, you're on Amazon, you're creating, people are purchasing products, and you're getting a commission off that. That is a way for you to, while you're building up all your other accounts, to create content through Amazon and make something. It's monetization at the earliest levels, a monetization that honestly can potentially trump many of the other options we talked about here today. I would really consider that. Now, for those for the Facebook influencer program or being an associate, there are some requirements. You do need to set up an account. You do need to prove that you have some kind of social media presence. You are going to have to make a couple of sales. It's pretty simple for the affiliate. It's 3 qualifying sales within 180 days. You can create a storefront. You can start publishing, making these videos and publishing them, and Amazon will actually put them on the product page. If you're currently working on Amazon, or you're a creator, an influencer, or an associate, drop some of your experience in the comments. It is, I think, a market that's not fully tapped. And as a creator, I said this at the beginning, this is not a zero-sum game. If you as a creator are learning something through your process, you should be sharing that with other people. Your success can lead to other people's success, and their success does not take away from you. There's no reason to keep secrets. There's no reason to charge people for programs. There's no reason for you to have to go download a book or do whatever. If you want to send a message, you can do that. If you want to leave a comment, you can do that. If you want to subscribe, if you're watching this on YouTube, great. If you're watching this on any other platform, follow the channel. There's plenty more to come. Remember, don't limit yourself to a single platform. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and yes, even Amazon. If you're not putting out content on at least a couple of those, you're missing out. So don't miss out on that. Don't miss out on any future videos. Subscribe or follow depending where you're looking at. I hope you enjoy this. Leave a like and comment. There's definitely much more to come. Don't count yourself out. Don't stick on a single platform. Create, create, and create, and get your content out there. You owe it to yourself.